right, guys, I got fire heat for you. 7 tips that will absolutely change your sales and your leadership game. Listen, if you're a salesperson, you don't want to miss these 7 tips. I can absolutely trace back hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to all 7 of these tips. If you're a leader out here, you need to understand these because you need to teach each little tips to your team or have your team watch this video. Let's go. All right, if you want to be the best salesperson in the world, not just an average little salesperson sitting on the sidelines in the middle of the pack, wishing that you could be in the top of the pack, here's the tip that you need to know. So listen up. Number 1, develop yourself first. More than likely, you've learned this wrong from people in your life. So write this down. Unlearn some of the things that you learned prior to this, okay? You got to develop yourself first. Sales is 90% mental, 90%. You need to be able to develop your emotional control. You need to be able to develop your mindset. You need to be able to develop your sales skills. If you're not investing in yourself every day and learning how to develop and skill stack these new skills on top of your game, you're never going to win. So I want you to understand, when I first got into sales, I didn't know what objection handling was. I didn't know what closing was. I had to buy a book. I had to learn how to objection handle, and then I had to take it to learning how to close. First, I learned how to do my top 5 objections 5 different times from a book that I bought. I had to go out and learn that myself. Then the next skill I had to learn was closing. Then the next skill I had to learn was lead generation. I had to learn these things. And on top of that, I was learning my mindset and how to become a better person. A lot of the times, what you have to understand is most people are going to teach you sell, sell, sell. Really, it's serve, serve, serve. You got to learn how to serve people. But if you're not learning how to shift these mentalities and these mindsets and unlearn some of this bullshit, well then, you're never going to become the best. So develop yourself first. Number 2, sales is about solving problems. Say it with me, solving freaking problems. Listen up, man. The sale starts at the no. That's when the sale starts. Guys, listen, you have to have the doctor mentality. Write this down. You have to be able to ask questions, ask really good questions to get the prospect to uncover some of their true motivations. If they're doing that and you're starting to take control of the sale because you're actually asking questions, you're going to be able to solve their problems. The problem with most salespeople is they never go deeper. A customer might say, hey, I'm here to look at this freaking car, and you never even ask them, hey, why are you taking a look at this car? Or can I ask you a question? Are you trading in a vehicle like that? What'd you like about your last car? What'd you not like about your last car? Okay? Are you going to use it to commute back and forth to work? Where do you work? Why'd you choose to work there? Some why questions. Go deeper with them. Oh, you're a lawyer. Oh, that's nice, man. My twin brother, Ian, he needs an attorney. He's always getting into trouble. You know, you got to bring some lightheartedness into it. You got to have a little bit of fun. But if you're not actually looking to solve the problem and figure out what the deep desire is, you can never, ever sell. And by the way, the bigger problems you solve, the more money you get paid. So if you can't solve little baby bitch ass problems, let's just talk about maybe your own problems, because we talk a lot about self-development on this channel. If you can't solve some of your own little baby problems, how are you going to be able to solve problems for everybody else? Okay, so this is a 2-part thing. If your personal life is always holding you back and your managers and everybody are constantly having to rev you up because you have a little attitude and you can't solve your own problems, you're never going to be able to solve other people's problems. And in order to get from sales to leadership, in order to keep scaling up, all it is about solving problems. So we solve problems with the prospect, but we solve problems with ourselves too. Uncover the deep desires that people have, and if you can uncover those things, you will be the best salesperson in the world. Number 3, master prospecting and lead generation. So many times I see salespeople, they blow through their pipeline and then they're just kind of sitting there. Their momentum gets stale, then their mindset gets stale. One bad day now turns into 2 bad days, that turn into a bad week, a bad month. And maybe it started because you just weren't prospecting enough. So I want you to think about this for a second. You as a salesperson out there, or maybe you leaders out there who have salespeople like this, you got to teach them these things. You got to prospect on your own. The company leads should be like 15 to 20% of your business. The rest should be you out there self-generating on multiple social media channels. You should be building your brand. You should be posting consistently. Find the different social media channels that have your target audience into it, okay? And then learn to go out and dominate those channels. Also, learn where your ideal clients meet. Maybe that's out at like a seminar. Maybe that's out at a meetup, a car meet, whatever the heck it is, and then get into those networks, start to go provide value in those networks, start to shake more hands and develop your own self-generated list of clients. If you're not constantly doing that, That's when you're going to run into these little pockets where you've blown through your pipeline and now you're just waiting on company leads or something, and your momentum sucks, and then you turn it into a bad month, which can lead into a couple of bad months. I've seen so many salespeople have a huge month. I want you to think about this for a second. Have you ever been out there and you had the biggest month ever, and then you're nervous for the next month because you don't have a lot working in your pipeline? Yeah, because you're not prospecting. So write this down. Set a non-negotiable. Do I need to prospect 15 new cold DMs a day? Do I need to send 15 cold emails a day? Do I need to have a non-negotiable of 30 new calls a day? You have to understand, you need new money to keep your business going and flowing. So in order to do that, you're going to have to commit to an outreach strategy. Commit to your outreach strategy. Commit to your social media strategy, and never let anything take you off of that, especially if you're having a big month and then you're starting to get comfortable and you're selling a lot, but you're not setting up your next 60 or 90 days, which is the problem with people that you see go up and then they go down. So if you're on that roller coaster of success in sales, it's simply because you're just not prospecting enough. Number 4, you got to practice role playing and rehearsing. Look, what you do in the dark will ultimately show your skill level in the light. So if in the light you can't overcome objections, or if I were to stand you up in front of 2 or 3 people and you don't know how to overcome the objections, you're just not practicing enough, and you're an amateur and you're not a pro. If you want to be a pro, you'd be writing down your objections constantly. You'd be understanding how to handle your top 5 objections 5 different ways, different closes, money justification. You'd be figuring out all these things. The information's out there. You just make little baby excuses on why you can't get it done and why somebody else is special. There's nobody else that's special than you. They just work harder in preseason. They work harder in preseason, they work harder in practice, and you're not actually putting in the work, okay? So what you gotta realize is the pros are constantly drill, practice, rehearsing. They're practicing shaking hands in the damn mirror. Hey, how you doing? Evan Macklin. Welcome to XYZ Nissan. Are you here for parts, sales, or service? You here for a big sale? You here for this? You here for that? Like, you're practicing your energy, your smile, all the stuff. You're drill, practice, rehearsing every little bit of the sale. Can you smile with your eyes? Can you talk and smile at the same time? Guys, this is a skill. You got to be able to do that. If you can't, you're never going to be a pro or compete with guys like me. Now, I'm going to encourage you to film your responses. I'm going to encourage you, your homework right now, write this little tip down. My homework today is to film these objections that I'm struggling with and how I'm handling them. I want you to look at your eyes. I want you to look at your posture. I want you to look at yourself and ask yourself this one question: would I buy from me? And if the answer is no, practice until you get it right. Actually, you know what? I take that back. If the answer is no, practice until you can't get it wrong. Losers practice till they can't get it right one time, and the winners practice until they can't get it freaking wrong, man. So practice it, practice it, practice it. Role play, write it down, get with people in your company, do live role play, and just rehearse it so much. Number 5, use the scripts, but stay human. Gosh, man, you can't sound like a robot. Guys, listen, I just talked to you about drill, practice, rehearsing. I talked to you about mastering objections and writing all your stuff down. But at the end of the day, like, the goal is to understand this with objections, with scripts. Write this down. First things first with the scripts is to memorize it word for word, the way the expert or somebody that's done it longer than you, that's been successful, write it down word for word the way that they've said it, okay? Now, the next part is you internalize it. You got to be able to memorize it, the exact word. Don't miss a word. Then you internalize it so well that, like, man, if you were flipping me upside down and waterboarding me right now, I'd still be able to know the word track, okay? And then you can go to customize. Once you've customized it, you can win at a high level with your own personality, your own charisma, your own spark. Problem is most people go from memorize to customize because they're like, oh, I can do it better. Oh, that shit doesn't work for me. Dude, you're crazy. You gotta freaking memorize it, then you gotta internalize it, and then you gotta customize it. Once you customize it, you're not sounding all robotic. You're kind of moving in between transitions because you're letting these word tracks kind of intertwine and interweave. They're coming into your head and you're using one from another and one from another, and you're a professional. So that's the key. But if you don't understand a script, if you don't have a baseline, if you don't have something tattooed on your heart, there's no way you can compete with the highest level salespeople because they understand this. Number 6, guys, follow up relentlessly. Some of you guys are allergic to the word even follow up. It gets your skin crawling right now because you're an amateur. Just telling you, I'm being honest with you. And the truth is like, the only way you're gonna grow is from coming to realize, like, maybe you only follow up 1 or 2 times. Man, I'm telling you right now, there was a study done. The biggest deals are made between the 7th and 9th follow-up, the 7th and 9th touch. So most of you guys that are even being successful right now are getting like 10, 15% of the pie. You're not getting the whole pie because you're not doing the whole follow-up. You're getting the easy deals. You're getting relatively the lay-down deals. Maybe they're not one call closes, but you're getting the easy shit, okay? Some of my biggest deals, I followed up for a year. I just closed the deal. I followed up with this person for over a year. This deal's a deal that's life-changing for me, but I wouldn't be able to make this deal happen if I had amateur habits. I want you to think about this for a second. Write this down. Would the person that I need to become have different habits, different follow-up skills? Yes or no? There's no gray area. It's not like, oh, maybe. It's like, no. Be honest with yourself right now. Do you need to develop new habits around your follow-up? Okay, come up with a follow-up process. I have follow-up Fridays. I'm following up with my clients on Fridays. I follow up in this type of system, the 3 F's. Follow up, follow back, and follow through. Follow up with the clients that obviously are still on the fence and you're constantly following up with them. I'll follow up with them 2 to 3 times a day for a week straight. You know, I'll send them some different things that aren't non-transactional follow-up. Some articles, some reviews, some YouTube videos, some different things that will just get some responses, some gifts. Like, be different in your follow-up. Okay, follow through with what you say. If you tell that prospect you're going to be there at 5 p.m., be there at 4:59. Okay, be the person that they know you're going to follow through with your word. If you start your sales process off and you lose trust because you're not on time and you didn't follow through with some of the beginning stuff that you said you were going to do, sending a proposal, stuff like that, you're never going to win with that client, and you're not going to develop a client for life. And then follow back with your clients. You want to build a dependable book of business, you got to follow back with them on their birthdays. Follow them on Facebook. Man, hey, ring, ring, ring. Hey, Linda, I saw that your kid just graduated from Duke University. Just wanted to tell you, hey, remember, it's Evan. You bought a car from me. Hey, just wanted to tell you, congratulations on that. Just saw that. Look, I got 3 kids. I'd love for my kids to be able to go to Duke and be able to, like, you know, just have that drive and that ambition. Can you give me a couple of tips real quick? I'm gonna let you get back to what you're doing, but I really thought that was really cool. She's gonna unload a lot of stuff. Be authentic, be loving, be like interested in what she's saying. Then get off the phone. We don't need to sell them anything. We're gonna give on our follow back. We're gonna be a person that's doing non-transactional follow-up, building relationships that last. And then all of a sudden, when somebody's thinking of a vehicle, coaching, solar, this, insurance, whatever, they're gonna think of you, okay? So follow the 3 F's. Be a professional in your follow-up. A lot of the times the problem is just in your follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. So think about this for a second. The new habits, the new money, the $1 million, the $100,000, whatever the money is that you're looking for, it's in the follow-up. You're just not doing it at a high level. And the top level producers in your industry, the top 1%ers, they're obsessed with it. All right, guys, and the last tip, maybe the most important one, is be a 1%er. Outwork, outlast, and outtrain the people around you. I'm gonna explain this to you. It's gonna come down to your work ethic. There's a lot of people in this generation, there's a lot of people in the market right now that just don't want to do the work. Truth is it's never been easier to be great. Outwork them. Outwork them, put in more work than them. Man, I remember when I first started in the car business, I was the person that was there at 6 a.m. when the service drive would open up. I was actually putting plastic in people's cars, greeting them when they got out of the car. When service would close at 8 p.m., I'd freaking pick the lock. I'd go down to the service department. I'd grab all the ROs, and then I'd call people the next day and say, hey, it's Evan, the customer loyalty manager. Real quick, hey, are you coming in for your oil change? Nice, can I meet you? Can I bring you some coffee? Whatever. I would call people relentlessly. I did that for years. I outworked people. Many of you guys have heard the story of me and my brother walking across the street, and people would come through the drive-thru at McDonald's, and we would just up them, and we would talk to them, and we would try to sell them a car, see if they were interested. We would do that at the malls. We would hand out flyers, whatever we could do to outwork the competition. The key to winning is having a larger, stronger, more dominant work ethic than anybody else around you. Okay? Be one of the people that they're always thinking you're crazy because of the work that you put in. Outlast people. Most people have cycles. If you're in a company right now, most people quit in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. They can't do the work for a long period of time. I do this shit for decades, man. Outlast them. If you can make it into the 3-year, 5-year, 10-year room in your industry, things start to be different. It starts to be a little easier, especially if you're with the same company. If you're with that same company, you make it into the 5-year room, your repeat business starts to come along. You have more respect in the company. Things start to become easier. You understand how to work the system. You know people a little bit better. But most people, they just quit. They quit in 6 months, 2 years. Something doesn't work out with their company. They're like, oh, the culture's toxic. Bro, you're a middle of the pack guy. Of course the culture's toxic, dude. You've never done anything to push the company to an extreme level. So people don't really respect you. So funny that I've never heard a top producer say the culture's toxic in any company. Why? Because they get treated differently. You want to work your way out of a toxic culture? Why don't you just become the best in the culture? Why don't you do that? Okay? Outlearn people. Why don't you just outlearn them? Commit to learning. Commit to learning at the highest level possible. Invest in yourself. Get in programs. Get around mentors. Really understand how to influence and persuade. The vast majority of my wealth has always been how to influence, persuade, get people to do what I need them to do. That's going to be the key, man. And I'm going to end it here. You got to be resilient. You got to develop an identity about being resilient, about having grit. Be a person that no matter how many times you get kicked in the balls, you're always willing to get back up and continue to fight. Success is going to be hard, but you know what's harder? Living a life of regret. I'm 35 years old. There's guys that I grew up with right now that like they didn't wake up until they were 31, 32, or they're waking up now and they wish they had the life that I had. But my entire 20s, I worked. I didn't take one Saturday off from 19 to 29 years old. From 19 to 29 years old. I worked every Saturday in the freaking car business. Why? Because I wanted it. Because I wanted a bigger life than everybody. And ultimately that 10 years led to the experience and the handshake of me being able to meet with Andy Elliott, and ultimately led to a 7-figure earning opportunity, and it's going to lead to a lot more. But it would have never happened had I not had the resilience, had I not had the grit, had I not had the determination. I didn't need motivation. I showed up to kick ass because I had a chip on my shoulder, because I always knew I was going to be somebody. Always. Even when I wasn't somebody, I knew that there was something inside of me that said that there was more. I understand now that a lot of those whispers were God. A lot of the loud shouts that I wasn't shit, and that I had almost like an imposter syndrome, like you don't deserve it, all these things, that was the devil. Now that I'm more spiritual, I understand success is spiritual, man. But if I'm not willing to outwork, outlearn, outlast people, if I'm not willing to be a 1%er, if I'm not willing to do what other people won't do so I can live a life that they can't, I'm never going to be great. So listen to this, write this down. Winners live where quitters quit. Winners live where quitters quit. So any of you that quit, just imagine wherever you quit, there's somebody that went a little further than you and they won. And by the way, those winners that are winning in that winning realm, there's also another level to it. The GOATs, the legends, they live where the winners quit and they go further than them. Do you do more reps? Do you have a better heart? Do you want to serve people at a higher level? Do you have better intentions? Are your goals surrounded by what your clients can get? Like are their goals at the center of your decisions? You know, is it all about you? Or do you have like this servant heart purpose to want to grow yourself but also grow other people? Those are some of the keys that kept me grounded. Those are some of the keys that helped me just build a really good life. So if you want to be a better salesperson, if you want to be a better leader, teach these to the people around you. Teach these to the team. Share one of these videos with somebody that needs to see it. Let's go. I told you that video would change your life. I hope you found some massive value into it, poured my heart and soul into it. I know that if you just watch that video and you're super present, the video is going to change your life. Now I got something else that I want you to stack on top of it. Right here, somewhere on the screen, there's going to be a video that I did on the 5 habits that you need to consistently do to make millions in sales. So go on ahead and click this video and let's get to it. Let's go.